Hello everyone, it's bonus video time. I played a game this week that I thought just highlighted the importance of, I don't know, suppose mental resilience. I'm making this as a video largely for myself, as a bit of a reminder of how small margins can be when playing through a game like this. It doesn't take much to win or lose, and the importance of staying switched on, I suppose. So, for context, I was just playing for the fun of it, and I'd had a pretty good run just before this. Thought I'd play one more game. Probably shouldn't have because it was like 12:30 at night, and I make pretty much just one, what I would say, poor decision at the end that definitely costs us the game. Plan for it, play really well up until that point, and get us into a situation that is favourable, and then sort of just bomb it. Went to bed a little bit grumpy about it, and didn't really move on for a couple of hours. So we're back here, we're doing a quick review. We'll go through because I think it is a very common to see matchup, especially if you're playing Sigismar. Our opponent is on Akesha and Taru, which is one of the more popular champs at this point. Can be a bit rough. They get to play around everything that you want to do when they're on the first play, and you have to sort of factor that in, I guess. Opening hand, pretty straightforward. We've got two double ups here, so we're probably going to get rid of those, and then it's really a choice between Order Spy and Skybound Odyssey. Since we're keeping a 2-drop and a 1-drop, we're not getting the full value out of Skybound, not actually playing ahead of curve if we don't have 2 3-drops. And so our choice is pretty straightforward here. We're going to keep the sabotage and hope that does something important for us. Pretty straightforward opening turn. Most of this game is fairly conventional, so gonna rush through it where we can. Put pressure on both sides and see what they want to do when we have to see how they're going to play. Magical training's very non-committal, so we just drop the accountant. So had this been another one of the 2-drops that we had, perhaps a Jack Frost or something like that, we probably wouldn't have played it out, but the accountant does start gaining those boosts out of reserve, so it's not too bad if we just throw that away into reserve. Obviously opens it up to sabotage, and we're a bit lucky here. They do play something that lets us advance, but had we taken a 1-for-1 we wouldn't have been too upset. Play through Tiny Jail, the Council. We decide to get rid of the Tiny Jail. Obviously removal is good, especially as a one-of. We're saying goodbye to that effect specifically for the whole game, but when it's coming up against one of our uniques, seeing more cards if we can get those out is good. It dodges Off You Go. I think it might be the only character that we play in the deck that does that. So they're going to need a Banishing Gate or something in order to deal with that one. They bounce the Magical Training back and sabotage away something. Choose the Orders Trooper, which is a little bit disappointing. And we've got a choice. We can either just play out the Order Spy, nothing to sabotage, so what we're going to do instead is play for next turn a little bit. We're still ahead. They've got 2 mana, so they can mess us up here a little bit, but sometimes you've got to make them have it. And we're actually just going to sleep our token. We're okay taking a 1-for-1 here because we took a 2-for-1 on the previous turn. And either they play out a character, which results in a 1-for-1, or if they had the stats for it, a 1-for-nothing, or they have the Off You Go, which we're happy to see the back of here. shown a little bit of recursion as well, so we might try and clip that from their reserves. They don't have access to it anymore, but we pick up a Jack Frost. So obviously just getting rid of a card is a big deal. They've got the recursion, but if we want to play out our turn here, we can't actually play the Auto Spy, and obviously exhausting something just to sabotage it away is, a waste of resources. So what we do, because our stats are good on the hero side from sleeping our token the turn previous, we play out our Alchemist, see what they want to do. A little bit slow here, but we'll just we'll pass here and preserve our exhaust from hand because we know they can't play the off you go anyway. Drop a Baba Yaga, take a 1/1, recoup their card. Hopefully, going on to 6 mana, we've got the option of playing Alchemist plus Council, unless we get a better option out of hand here. And we send the Sandman to 2 mana. Gift of Self is a 1/of in the deck. Obviously a good place to use it is when you're either absolutely losing on one side, so you can just get rid of one of those tokens for nothing, no stress. But the reason we kept it over the Sandman is because we're at 6 mana. So if we play out Alchemist Council, that uses up all of our mana, obviously exposes us to Banishing Gate. With the Council, they'll be able to play after us, and we've got the option of going through and playing the Alchemist, Jack Frost, and Gift of Self as well. So we drop the Frost. If they want to use the off you go, they no longer can, probably wouldn't have. But we'll drop the Alchemist anyway. So 4 mana from our opponent, get to see what they want to do. We have the opportunity to play the Gift of Self, but that would risk them being able to advance. So we can't actually sacrifice anything on the hero side here. The Ordis Recruit going away would mean they get to advance, and we give them an expedition. We risk, with their 4 mana, risk them just outstatting us. 4 mana means 4 stats, we're only representing 3. They drop a Magical Training. Had we been playing another matchup here, probably wouldn't have done this, but Izmir is notoriously low on stats for the amount of mana they provide, so just going to get rid of one of our tokens, draw 2 more cards. Another Sandman, not punished for putting it into mana. And a Hypothermia is kind of cool as well. And not sure what our opponent was thinking here. I think it's a bit of a misplay. Given that we got rid of one of our tokens, they actually could have advanced on this side as well. So let's talk about that decision and what it does for the game. So had they played out Suha on this side, it means they would have advanced away from green and brown, which is where their operative is strong. And here they're advancing into brown now, which makes us think that maybe they've got something that's good in the brown stats in hand. Oh, sorry, wrong button. So we're thinking about that. Or they want to keep us on this side here. Us flipping that and moving into brown-blue means that their Suha doesn't actually block us. And despite having access to 6 cards, they potentially could lose there anyway. It's not guaranteed that they have a lot of creatures available to them, despite us having 2 in 3. Losing the Alchemist means it's harder for us to trigger the Council. Obviously you want that to keep around with its dusk trigger. If it gets removed at any point during the day, you are going to not be able to draw your cards. And we're not trying to play quick here anyway. We want to try and slow that one down. So Templar's good here, puts a creature out on the board, can play the Council and still have 2 mana available for a teamwork training. But we're probably going to play slow here anyway. Hypothermia, not really for the matchup. At this point, I'm not really thinking about big creatures like the Hunger. We're expecting them to continue to try and nickel and dime us with small creatures, so we move that one on. Targeted sleep from the Sandman, potentially better, especially when we're strong on the companion side. And relatively non-committal, we'll scout a Templar. So we've got a few options here. We can play out the Templar and then Sandman or teamwork training, depending on what it is that they want to do. We have a quick read of their unique, so it draws a card from hand, and then it can basically swap a couple of cards around. So you need something in hand for that one. Really lucky that it draws something itself. Good card. And if you put a spell in reserve, you can bounce something back. So something like the Suha would be a big deal here. And we're just going to push our advantage. Templar, when it's just played out, puts another character on board for the following turn, so we're thinking about the Council there instead. And then 3 stats, we're ahead on both. Don't actually care about the 0 in green for our Sandman, because neither, like, they don't advance, and we've got something else to think about. We choose what to do. We sleep their Disciple. Just slows down that plan to recur cards. If they're looking at the off you go, they don't have access to that next turn now, and we're going to force them to use their stats somewhere. Scribbling Starfish out. They play out Hathor and the Starfish. Not sure what the go is here. They're going to have to get rid of something, unless they've got... Even if they have Sleight of Hand in hand, they get the off you go back, but they're going to have to get rid of something. But they show us a Beauty Sleep instead. Pretty big deal. Now they get to advance where we were previously blocking them. Good answer. But they're going to have to get rid of 2 cards, and we actually keep another character around. So we start the turn with 2 recruits and the Sandman out. Big deal, because if they don't have a way to remove the Council, a la Banishing Gate, even if they use one of their single target removals, we're still going to have the 3 characters, and obviously we can play other stuff out around that. Get rid of the Templar, everything goes through. They have 2 cards they choose to get rid of. Off you go on Scribbling Starfish. So they're thinking that the Beauty Sleep being recurable might be a big deal. Obviously could have kept Off you go over that. Feeling the need to use other cards in their hand. Probably want the extra mana. So Orders Account, Attorney, and the Ugly Duckling. Pretty straight up, worst card in our hand is the Duckling here. We're going to have a lot of stats on board because of what's slept and the Templar leaving. So our teamwork training is online basically straight away. We get to accrue a little bit of advantage with our Attorney if they want to contest on that side. Give the Beauty Sleep back. We'll just play that out. Would rather advance here. Teamwork training the Disciple. Lets them use it. With its reserve ability here, but with the Off you go, we're less scared of that. And they drop a Fair Fox. So No hand ability, just a vanilla 3/3 because we don't care about its one stat here. And what we'll do is if they want to contest on that side with the Studious Disciple, now they no longer get their recursion ability. So the fact that they've played this out obviously implies that they want to advance there, so putting our extra stats there, not too bad. We have to pass, see what they want to do, and they hit the beauty sleep again. Now they sleep the council. Obviously it is the most stats on the board, but we actually like it because we've got 3 characters out. We would have had to get rid of something had everything gone, but we knew they had the beauty sleep, so we were okay playing into it. But now we don't even have to make a decision. 2 beauty sleeps, however, a little bit rough. Same thing, they're going to have to get rid of cards out of reserve now, so, card advantage confirmed or locked in. We get another Attorney and a Hypothermia. Managed to keep things even. They pulled it back on that early turn and then gone pretty up and down from there. No more beauty sleeps to think about. They could have a third one. Don't really care. The Jack Frost is a big hit here. So we were hoping to hit either Jack Frost or the Order Spy so we could hit one of their characters out. Choose to get rid of something for mana. Our hand's full of small spells, but if we do a count 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, we can actually play everything out here. So we kept the mana and we exhaust the Fair Fox. More stats on board. If they don't have the creatures to contest with, we'll just have to deal with that. Whichever one they'd played, notably it takes them below the required mana for the hunger as well, but they have to play the guy out on this side. And we play slow. Ugly Duckling, ain't too mad about that. Another unique, this one is disappointing. So the reason we played out the Ugly Duckling first is that if they'd played an off you go into it, it gets sent to reserve and we actually have access to its Ascension ability. But the discard from the Hare, not a big fan of that. So we don't even have that anymore, but it's still more stats and we can potentially contest. So what we do, play out the Attorney. They've got another removal spell in hand, so we're going to tiebreakers here. Nothing we can do about that. But we're going to play out the Hypothermia anyway. What it does, even though we're taking a hit here, it keeps more stats on board for us with the Council. The reason we put this in the deck is so that we have the access to that, because playing it for 6 is just not possible realistically, and being able to contest stats are too low. I've got to get rid of a couple of cards. So the Sandman and the Hypothermia disappear. Off of the Attorney we get a Spy, off of the Council we get another 2 cards, so we're feeling pretty comfy here. And then I'm going to herald this as the bloody blunder of the century, to be honest. We get rid of the license withdrawal. Why do we do that? I have no bloody clue. It's late at night. We're looking at it going, we're in the tiebreaker, so we just want more stats. We haven't seen anything that boosts out of them just yet, but it's so dumb. Like, we've been thinking about it all game. They've got the mana, this could be the world's most obvious hunger coming out. We even play around it at the start. They let us go first and we play something out of reserve, so we're not adding things to the board. Exhaust the Hare. They play a magical training, keeping something around. We play out the Attorney as well, so that we're not getting any stats off stuff that's in our hand. And had we had the license withdrawal, we would have played around it. They have it. I sit there and I'm like, why did I do that? to get rid of everything, and had we kept it, we could have just gotten rid of it, played out one of our creatures, and just won. But we didn't, and I don't know why. But I'm a level with you. That as a play put me on tilt. Hit him with the GG, moved on with my life, sat down, woke up at a cold sweat at 2 o'clock in the morning going, why did I do that? And I haven't played a game since. Now, it's only been 24 hours, but thought I'd take a break, came back and thought I wanted to talk about it because, yeah, it's stupid. You know, odds are, had I not been overtired, I wouldn't have done it, but I think that just highlights the difference that being well rested, fed and focused can do in a single game and the margins that you play by. And just a reminder to myself, as much as anyone out there who needs it, losing a game of this isn't the end of the world. We're actually quite lucky to be able to play this and be upset about this rather than many other things that are going on in the world. But to keep it on brand and on track with what we want to achieve here and the lessons we want to learn, I had a look just before I played this game. I think I've played 1,183 games of Altered on BGA, not including whatever I've played in paper. And, a single game in that, amounts to less than 0.1% of the games that I've played. I've done a lot of good things, I've done a lot of bad things in this game, learnt a lot. And I think I just need to remember that I'm not going to remember this in a month's time. But if I do ever get frustrated, I'll come back. I will watch this video and remind myself that mistakes aren't the end of the world. And that TCGs, anything that you do as a hobby, realistically, is a law of averages. Things go bad, things go good, it all averages out and you get better as you go along because you learn more. As such, I'm gonna wash my hands of it, put it out into the world and hope it doesn't come back, but if ever I need it, it's here. And if you ever need a reminder that one game doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, this one's here for you as well. Couple of small lessons to be learnt there, things that we think about upon review as well, but really it's that one moment at the end that I wanted to highlight. So thank you for going on the journey with me. We'll be back with the regularly scheduled video later this week. Hope you've had a good one and see you there.